This is day one of my Extreme Mustang Makeover competition. I picked up my Mustang yesterday and spent about 30 minutes with her after we got home, just getting her used to the stick and string. She did allow me to touch her with the stick and string yesterday, and that's about where I ended our session. So today I picked up, or tried to pick up where we left off, adding pressure with the stick and string. When she relaxes, I remove the pressure, and the pressure here would just be me touching her with the stick and string. She's most comfortable with me touching her on her back and her midsection, so I usually start touching her in that area and then I move away from the area. So I'll start touching her there and then I'll either move down her back end or up her neck. Just from me doing this, I'm starting to see that she's very uncomfortable with somebody being close to her neck or face, or even touching her neck or face. This clip right here just shows me being able to actually touch my Mustang for the first time with my own hands. I just shortened the stick and string in my hands because that's what she was used to, and then I touched her with my hand instead of the stick and string, and she did notice a difference. You could see her jump there for a second, but she tolerated it really well. And after this, I still use the stick and string quite a bit because she is most comfortable with that, but I kept adding my hand more and more, and I'll continue to do that until she's comfortable with my hand instead of the stick and string. I'm going to continue to use that as well to start moving up her neck because she's very uncomfortable with that, and I don't want to be in the way if she spooks because I don't want to get run over. I also find that it'll be a little bit easier because she's more comfortable with the stick and string for me to get closer to her face and start messing with the halter, because a lot of these horses will forget that they have that halter on, and they'll spook whenever you start moving it again. After being able to touch my Mustang in the first session and being able to get that stick and string a little bit further up her body, I ended it. I came back. This was our second session a couple hours later. As you can see, she remembered pretty well what we were doing in the first couple sessions. I'm now reaching up her neck, trying to touch that halter, make a little noise with it. That way I can see how bad she's going to spook when we start moving it. She tolerates it really well. So I'm just going to continue to go up and down her neck. I have a little bit of hay in my hand to see if she'll reach out and grab that. If she'll reach out and grab it, or if she's chewing while I'm touching her, that will be a sign that she's more comfortable with what we're doing and that it's safe for me to move on. So right here is the first time that I'm introducing the lead rope to her. She has not seen it with me before. I'm just trying to get it in my hand correctly. That way, if it gets caught on her or caught on something else, that my hand doesn't get ripped off and I don't get dragged to the ground. Because this is a pretty long lead rope. So the first thing I do is I go up to her and I just start swinging it around, seeing how comfortable she is with it. She doesn't make much of a reaction, so then I go and I swing it on her back. Again, not much of a reaction, so I just continue to do this to desensitize her until I can see if she shows any relaxation in her face. She's still pretty nervous, so I just continue to do this and try to keep my body movements to a minimum. I'm not trying to add any extra pressure here. I just want her to relax with me doing this as a desensitization method. As you can tell, I'm not very good at throwing the lead rope on her back, but I just try to stick with it. If she moves, I leave the lead rope up there. Of course, it'll fall off every once in a while, so I just throw it right back up. And then again, I'm very bad at throwing this lead rope, but if it'll just stay on her back, whenever she stops moving, then I'll release that pressure by dragging that lead rope back off of her back. So I get it on there pretty good this time, and I just leave it up there while she's trotting around. And then when she comes to a stop and relaxes a little bit, I'll just release that pressure and I take a step back. Here we are again, just throwing that lead rope over her back. If she steps off, trots like this, I'm not too worried about it. I'll just stick with her. If my lead rope falls off, I'll throw it back on, even though I'm a bad throw. And I just leave that on. And then when she calms down, I'll release the pressure again by removing that lead rope off of her back. She's not too sure about it dragging behind her, but it's a good way to desensitize her to things, and I'm just kind of shaking around, moving it. So what I'm doing here is I've noticed that she does not like the sound of metal clicking together. So I'm taking the clip and I'm just continuously clicking it so she gets used to it. I'm pushing it up towards her face because it's gonna have to clip underneath her chin. Once she relaxes, then I'll step back and remove the pressure of the clicking sound. She's doing pretty well with this, and she's letting me get pretty far underneath her chin. I could probably clip this on, but I don't want to do it too fast. So I'm just trying to give her a chance to relax around the clicking noise, and with the lead rope just kind of dangling underneath her chin. So after I spend some time desensitizing her to the lead rope, I come back and I go ahead and clip it on. I give her a chance to just kind of deal with this herself. I just get up out of the way. Her reaction's not terrible. Of course, she's going to be scared with something dragging behind her, and it's touching her back feet. She doesn't really seem to like that a whole lot, but I give her a little bit to kind of figure this out on her own. And fairly quickly, she does realize that when she slows down and relaxes, that it's not really that bad. It's not really chasing her around, and she just kind of gets her mind fixed, and she realizes that, hey, this really isn't that terrible. So after I give her a little bit to calm down, I come back and we start adding pressure to the lead rope. So I pick up the lead rope and I'm just adding some pressure here, and any step she takes towards me, then I'll release the pressure. But this is not the first time I've added pressure to a lead rope, so I'm kind of asking for more than one step because she's been doing fairly well with the one step. So I'm looking for about 3 here. Once she gives me a couple good steps, I release that pressure. There we go. She turns, she faces up towards me, she takes a couple steps towards me. I'm very happy with that. She's doing a really good job. It's really hard to play tug of war with a 1,000-pound animal, but she is not being too terrible. She drags me around the pen a couple times, and then she just kind of figures out, hey, when there's pressure added to this lead rope, if I walk towards it, it goes away. So that's cool. I start making my way up the lead rope, trying to get closer to her face. She does not like people close to her face. She does not like people messing underneath her chin where that clip is. So I'm just slowly making my way up towards her, trying to get her used to this, while also teaching her to lead. So she starts doing a really good job. I'm not having to add near as much pressure to get her to take a couple steps towards me. I just approach her at this point and go to pet her with the lead rope still attached to her. She does such a good job here. She's not super nervous with me coming up to pet her. I reach underneath her neck and her chin, trying to get her used to me reaching under there, because that's how I'm going to have to unsnap and snap this lead rope. So I add a little bit of pressure here. She takes a couple steps towards me. That's fantastic. I'm very excited about her progress. So this is where I decide that it's probably the best spot to end our session. So I go ahead and unsnap that lead rope because it's pretty long. I don't want to leave it on and get her tangled up. We come back and we just work on desensitizing and touching all over her body, and have a couple more sessions after this one.